Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time. This is Redneck Bob coming at you with a little bit of the news updates on the bomb threats and on our little caravan that's headed our way, don't you know? It's going to be an interesting next couple, 3 days. Anyway, I was listening to a couple of my other podcasts I listen to, and between them and me, we come up with a few ideas on the bomb threat. We've decided that either this was a real amateur or this was a very experienced person able to make it look like an amateur. And some of the reasons we think this is, first, you don't go and put labels on that stand out on your packages. You try to keep the print regular. And you don't use a printer to do the labels because ever since people started using laser print to try to print money, they've started putting, it's like a fingerprint ID on printers where they can track down which printer printed what just by a code in them that is put into the ink. Anyway, you know, doing that, either you want to get caught or you're just an idiot. That's all I know. You know, and the devices, you know, they really stick out as amateur. I mean, the packages they come in, you know, you want to make them look normal every day, so you don't put them big labels on it, and you really don't overwrap, which these were really, really stuffed where they would stand out. You try to make them look normal. You don't want them to draw attention. And the wrapping in the inside is to keep them from accidentally ripping through the outside envelope, and this was just overdone. So it was either a real smart man or a real dumb man. Right now, we're waiting to find out. It just came in a while ago. They have someone in custody down in Plantation, Florida, that they believe might be behind it or had something to do with it. We'll have to wait till about 2 o'clock for the official briefing on it. So about 2 o'clock they should be coming on there and telling everybody what they found. Anyway, they put 6 stamps on these, and they never were run through a process center. The stamps would have been marked just as we were thinking yesterday. Most of them were delivered by courier, so I put the stamps on them to start with, unless you want them to think that's where they come from. And if you really hate somebody, first of all, you're going to do your homework. You're going to know where they work, and you're going to know how to spell their name. Several names were misspelled, and several of the package were sent to the wrong places, like CNN. John Brennan got one at CNN when he doesn't work for CNN. He works for NBC, and you would just think someone that really had it out for them would know exactly where they live. And, of course, it gave the news plenty of news to try to go back and blame it on Republicans and blame it on Trump. You know, and if you're that much of an amateur, none of these were set to explode. They were not made to explode. They were not expected to explode. None of them were set like that. And if you're an amateur, though, trying to make these bombs, and you can't even rig the detonator, you would think out of a total of 12 were sent out, that you'd blow yourself up, one of them not knowing what you're doing. So apparently, there's a good chance this person really knew what they were doing. You know, and these were sent out real fast. You know, the Unabomber, he sent his out over a period of years, and he sent them out from different locations all over the country. These were all sent out same time, same area. You know, and some of them were PVC pipe, and we all know that the reason most pipe bombs are in metal pipes is for the percussion effect that causes the explosion. You put them in a PVC pipe, very little explosion, because that pipe is not going to hold together long enough to cause a big percussion on it. So, you know, it's almost the way they did them, they wanted them detected, and they didn't want them to go off. This was, you know, a scare tactic of some kind. But let's say whoever did this on purpose, maybe set someone else up to look bad. Maybe it's a frame. Then you have to worry about if they knew what they were doing and they have the tactical ability to do this. What happens if they do it again and this time they have them set to go off? You know, a professional would know how to make them look cheesy on purpose just so the next ones that come through wouldn't even be recognized. So we've got to kind of look at that too. And whoever did this left a pattern. A real pro would not leave a pattern. But then again, someone that wanted someone caught for it might lead the way right back to them. You know, and they're trying to link it to Trump. And, you know, they say it's Trump's fault for his rhetoric, but they're the ones calling for you not to be civil. They're the ones calling out for everyone to get in faces. When they hit low, kick them while they're down, go to their homes, you know, call them out, threaten their families, fight in the streets if necessary. This is all Democrats. But now it's Trump's fault when some, you know, you got some unstable person watching all this, and you can't blame it on them. You know, back when the shootings took place where Scalia's was shot practicing softball when Trump was running. We couldn't blame it on Democrats, even though it was a Bernie Sanders supporter that did it, because you can't control a man's actions. But now they're wanting to blame it on Trump and his rhetoric when it's their rhetoric that possibly this unstable person, whether it be Republican or Democratic, was listening to. He hears this and he decides he's going to take action. Payback time. Or who knows, it might have been a Democrat wanting to energize the base. We're still looking at that too. So, Lordy be, it's a mess here, but I think we're going to find out around 2 o'clock if they've got proof on this. But, you know, individuals can't be responsible. You know, what about the packages of ricin that was delivered to Republicans about a month ago? You don't hear no more about that on the news. The news just clams shut on all that. And a couple of packages were delivered to Republicans, or the hearsay is they were, and they just cut them out too. The news has not been reporting on any of that. It's just something stinks. And it ain't no skunk in the backyard. So y'all stay tuned. Maybe we'll find out what's going on. And now the caravan. There's a second caravan that's getting ready to head north. This caravan is coming. They want to invade. That's the only way you can put it. When you're bringing a flag and you're burning American flags and you're saying down with America and you're coming to take what's yours, what belongs to you, and marching in a grove like that, that's an invasion army. Even though they may not have weapons, when you start chanting you're coming to take what's yours and you burn the flag of the country you're going to and carrying your flag, I've never known that to ever happen, that it wasn't an invasion. So, you know, everybody can look at it the way they want. Bottom line is, there's a lot of Democrats that don't want this. The Democratic Party is saying he should let them come in, and there's nothing wrong with it. But what they don't understand is they're so out of touch with their base that a poll showed that a lot of the Democrats, you know, not the hard left, but the moderate lefts, they don't like it either. They don't like what it could do to this country. They don't like not knowing who it is that's coming. And they holler at Trump because he said there's criminals and there's gang members and possibly terrorists among them. The news is saying, before you stop them, you need to prove it. No, we don't either. First of all, the minute they cross that border illegal and don't do it the right way, they are criminals. So every one of them is going to be a criminal. Number two, it's already been proven by reporters. They shut it down, but some reporters that question some of them that's making march says, yeah, there's criminals all among them. Some of them know the criminals among them. And there's gang members coming up. It's a whole mixture. You know, you've got 150 women, maybe 25, 30 children put at the front of the line, and you've got thousands of men behind it, they ain't all coming up here just because they want a better life. They're coming up here so they can help out the drug cartels, or they can help out their fellow gang members already up here. They want a piece of that pie, which is illegal activity. But they still want to yell that Trump needs to prove it. Trump doesn't have to prove anything. All he has to do is shut down the border. He is sending 1,000+ men from Fort Bragg down there as we speak. Rumor has it there's 50,000 motorcyclists headed that way too, determined to help stop this crazy madness. I still think you mine the border 100 yards deep into America, put up signs, and then if they try to cross anywhere, even where there's not a fence, and they blow themselves up, that's on them. One or two of them blow themselves up, the rest of them will be more than happy to come through the gate. But that's just an old fart's opinion out here in the country. It's one way to handle it without having so much manpower and spending so much money. Something that even Trump needs to think about, I think. But he probably won't ever hear this. You know, DHS has no political motivation whatsoever. And in an interview, they have confirmed that the caravan has criminals in it. And some of them are very, very violent criminals. So you better take note. You know, and the Dems' blue wave is starting to get smaller and smaller as Dems are on this right here. They're energizing the Dems to walk away even more because they don't want our economy shut down now that it's starting to get good. You know, they could completely destroy our economy, that many coming in all at once. That's just a fact of the matter. You know, so a lot of Democrats understand this and they are against it. And sometimes I think either the bombs are employed to make you look away from the caravans, or the caravans are employed to make you look away from the bombs. Who knows? But some of this craziness got to stop. We got to get back to respecting one another. And all the rhetoric about the stock market. Oh, the stock market fell, our economy's going in the toilet. No, it ain't. This is a cycle that happens all the time. You know, a lot of people put their money in investment because the interest rates were down. Now that interest rates are back up, they're pulling their money out of investments and putting them in capital CDs, high-yield investments, because of the interest rate being so high. It's not crashing. Our economy's not going to crash. It always goes up and down. It's a natural cycle, so don't panic. Yeah. Don't get all tore up because it dropped. It's still higher. It's still way up higher than it ever was over the last 15, 20 years. So there's nothing to panic. It's going to happen that way. Anyway, folks, you got to make a stand on one side or the other. I ain't telling you what to do, but the way to make the stand is at the polls, and the way to make the stand is back your president. Because Democrat or Republican, I'm telling you, you don't want that many unvetted people crossing our border, not knowing if they're murderers, killers, drug lords, whatever. We've got to control the border. I'm not saying don't let them in. Like I said, I got a son-in-law that's Spanish. He's from Mexico. He's Spanish. But he come in the right way, spent a lot of money, and he did it the right way. He worked hard, kept his nose clean, did what he had to do. I think everyone should have to go through the same deal. Come in the right way, and you're more than welcome. My arms are wide open. They've also found some that were from Eastern persuasion that tried to mix in amongst the Mexicans, and some of them have been rooted out already. So I'm going to tell you what. You make up your own mind what you got to do. Pick a side, vote, make sure you vote. But this is one time when we all need to stand together at the border and say, hey, we don't mind you coming, but you're going to do it the right way. We can't have you invading and tearing up our country. We have enough of that going on between us. Anyway, this is no redneck's point of view, and just like I tell you before, it's my opinion. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and I probably got two or three. Don't forget to take your dogs out today. They probably got to go potty, and y'all have a great one. I'll talk at you later.